OGAccountability.com. I'm sitting down here with Sean Alexander from E412 International. Sean is in town right now from Kentucky and was actually at Huffman Church this morning, spoke there and actually played bass with us and had a great time. But we want to talk a little bit about some endeavors that you've had going for quite some time now, some things that you've done. And with E412 International, instead of me explaining it, you being the founder, can you in your own words, explain to everybody exactly what E412 is?
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for having me back, and thanks for having me come talk about this specifically. E412 is just the name of my ministry. So I never felt any kind of call to missions or anything when I was growing up. I was a preacher's kid, as you know. And, my whole frame of reference, my whole context was America, the American church, never even considered it. If anything, it was one of those, I'll go if he sends me, but man, I really hope he doesn't send me. But then I had the opportunity in 2012 to go to India. One of my good friends, he's from India. He invited me to go on a trip with him. And it was while I was on that trip in 2012 that God gave me the name of that ministry, E412. I didn't want to do like the typical Sean Alexander Ministries or anything. I wanted it to be something that doesn't reflect on me. I didn't want it to be about me or my name. So when God gave me that, I felt like it was the direction to go for the ministry. So E412 comes from Ephesians 4:12, which says to equip the saints for the work of ministry for building up the body of Christ. So what we're focused on is whether home or like domestic or foreign, we're trying to enable people to fulfill the Great Commission, right? So the context of that's in Ephesians 4 is when it talks about the fivefold ministry, right? So what we want to try to do is enable, equip, encourage, all those things, whether here or abroad. We want to help people in their God-given calling. And really it's about enabling the body. It's not about laity versus clergy. It's not like about a professional thing, but I think the entire body of Christ needs to be equipped to do the work of ministry, whether that be through the spiritual gifts or through evangelism or through just living a life of righteousness. That's what we're trying to do here and abroad.
So you've gone on several trips. I know to Nepal. What other places have y'all?
We've been to Haiti, been to India, extensively in Nepal. And had a brief trip to Argentina. That was a great trip, but the primary focus of our work has been with the Hindu people in India and Nepal, and village evangelism, teaching seminars, teaching church people about the baptism of the Holy Spirit. That's been a lot of our work. I had a door open to me miraculously. It's kind of a cool story. But I had a door open to me to go work in Myanmar, and unfortunately the window is closed for now. But we still operate by Zoom. I still do teaching for the pastors and the Bible schools over there. We do a monthly Zoom meeting and Bible training. So those are the primary countries that I've been in. But in 2024. I'm really looking. God has already opened up some avenues, hopefully to get back into Nepal, Peru. There's an opportunity there that I really want to go invest in the work. It's a multi-generational missions work there on the Amazon River, and I'm excited about going down there and working with that ministry and spreading the gospel to the remote village areas in the jungle, but also working within the city base to expand that ministry operation. I'm going to be going to Bangkok to work with the Burmese refugees since the Civil War in 2021, when the military took over. There's been a lot of people migrate over to the border or over the border into Bangkok, so we're going to be working there. So those are some of the things coming up. I'm really eager to get back to Nepal. That's where my heart is. I love the country of Nepal. I love the people there.
Now, for a while, you had a difficulty even trying to go back to Nepal, right? It was completely closed off.
Right, and even if I go this time, it's not going to be like what I've done in the past. So several years ago, I don't know the exact year. Maybe it was 2015. Maybe it was 2017. They passed some really stringent anti-conversion laws. So the Hindu radicals are in power in India and in Nepal. And so they have made it really tough on Christians, the ones living there, but also those of us, that are foreigners trying to come in and do missions work.
What do? Just completely snuff you out and don't let you in, or is this something that they arrest you? Or
first, you can't get in on a ministry visa. It takes months and months and months, so you have to go as a tourist. And so because of that, you run certain risks if you get caught doing any kind of ministry. If you get caught doing baptisms, they like to claim that you are forcing their Hindu people to convert against their will. So you have to do like signed, videotaped confessions saying, I'm doing this of my own volition and all these things. That wasn't ever part of my focus. When I was there, I stayed, only my first trip was done village to village evangelism. And then from there, we focused primarily on teaching inside established churches. But even that now has been pretty sketchy. They're bombing churches, they're burning them, they're beating up a lot of the Christians. So if we go, it's not just about me putting my life on the line, which our people they're always so concerned with our safety. But it's after we leave, they're going to be the ones that get the full retribution.
Yeah. I didn't think about that.
I mean, we're a very obvious target anywhere we go in the country, even though there's a lot of trekkers that go hiking in the Himalayas. But anytime there's a white face or an American face, a Westerner, it gets attention. And so after we're gone, they're the ones that have to deal with the consequences. So what we'll have to do on this trip coming up is mainly focus within houses, not stay in any one place too long, to give people time to start asking questions and what's this guy doing and why is he here and all that kind of stuff. So it'll be encouraging, doing house ministry, praying for the pastors that we've worked with in years gone by. Hopefully I'll be able to put together enough of an offering to go bless them, because they've had it so tough, especially with COVID. Man, the entire country shut down. We had it bad in places over here, but nothing like some of those Asian countries where it was just so repressive, and they're poor countries to begin with.
Some places still have stringent rules from the whole COVID protocol thing. That's hard to believe.
Completely destroyed their economies. People have starved. It's a truly horrific situation over there. So hopefully I'll be able to take some God's word with me, take some encouragement, but I also want to take some tangible, monetary assistance.
Absolutely.
Help ease their life a little bit.
So if somebody's listening for who this is going out to, and people are saying, hey, this is something that, I want to get plugged into. Me personally, I have never once in my life, and guess what? There's nothing wrong with this. I've never once in my life ever had the draw for missions, ever. And that's okay. But I've been able to help people out. Though I can't go, I can sew into what they're doing, and I may not be going, but I'm facilitating them being able to go and helping out. So if somebody's watching, how would they reach out and get a hold of you? What's the best channels to reach out to you through?
Yeah, we have a website, e412.org, e412.org. You can email me directly, Sean, SEAN, at e412.org, and we're on Facebook. I don't know if it's because I'm too old or what, but that's really the only social media that I actively engage with.
There's so many now. There's so many.
I have a small YouTube presence, and part of the ministry that God is recalling me to in 2024 is to put out video content, to do teaching videos. The heart of our ministry is teaching the Word of God. So we're going to be doing that. So I'm on YouTube and Facebook, but you can go to our website and contact us there, email me directly, whatever,
Okay. And let's say somebody's watching this and they have had a burden in their heart to reach out, to plug into something to help. And sometimes it's hard helping out missions. And this is just from my experience. And just so anybody listening who has the same thought process that I have will realize exactly where your money's going. Years ago, there were some people I helped out with missions, and I donated directly to the organization to help them go on their missions trip. Well, come to find out, the people I thought I was helping, that money didn't go to them. The money went to the organization, and they didn't, even though I thought I was helping these people, it went to an organization that went into, and we understand there's going to be some clerical things that have to be done, but this was such a large organization that their overhead was so large that a lot of the donations they get don't even go to where you think it's going. It's going to their in-house to facilitate the level that they're in. But what you're doing and the team that you have, everything that people give is going directly to the trip, to the further of the gospel, to maybe buying candies for kids, helping out with waters, with food, different things like that. So there isn't a what's the word I'm looking, like clerical fee that gets tacked on to.
We don't have a huge overhead.
Yeah, exactly.
My ministry, E412, is Sean and Kristen. It's me and my wife. We partner with other ministries for sure, from America or from other places. It's not just us, but it's not like we have this massive headquarters. We're a small thing. We have other forms of income. So, E412 funds, when people donate, it goes to the work.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to.
Right.
If you back this ministry, it's directly going to what you say it's going for. And it's sad this day and age you have to even bring that up. But for people that, there's all types of different thinkers, and we deal with people whenever we were taking kids on missions trips that would give a large donation and want to know, hey, can you let me know directly what this is going to? And we just tell them every dime you get is going to the kids and to the missions trip. And so if somebody is wanting to help out monetary wise, are y'all set up to be able to take donations online?
Yeah, right now we have a few ways. I'm working on getting some of the bases covered that people have asked, like, do you have this? I'm like, oh no, I need. So right now, PayPal, that still is a great way. If people want to snail mail, of course they can send checks in, but we're on Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, some of those guys.
All the big ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But really, I'm looking for a team of support. I want a base of support with people that have bought into the vision. I mean, sure, if somebody just wants to randomly send $100 or $1,000 or whatever, or $1, I'll take it because it goes to fund the work, right? But really, what I'm looking for is somebody that says, I respond to that work, or that vision, I should say. I want to be a part of that, and we start a relationship. I'm looking for key relationships strategically, because yes, the funding is important, and I'm not independently wealthy. I'm not at the level where I can just take my own money and go give it away to a bunch of causes overseas. I gotta have a team. God uses me to be the one to go, but to have any kind of blessing associated, the financial blessing that is, I have to have a team that buys into the work that God has called me to. So that's what I'm looking for. But I also think that people overlook, bro. I've literally been able to tell the difference when people are praying for me back home and when they're not. Now, in situations over there, like in third world countries, but especially Hindu countries, the spirit realm is very active. It's idolatrous. There's 300 million gods and goddesses worshipped in the Hindu religion.
Wow.
And so there's a temple on every corner. There's a statue, basically, almost like it is with churches here. But there's a very active demonic spirit realm over there. And I can tell when people back home are praying for me and when they're not. And it's almost like after a day or two, this may sound weird to believe, and if you don't want to believe it, that's fine. But when I get back and I post all my pictures on Facebook and people know that my final plane from New York has arrived and I'm back home and all that kind of stuff, I can literally tell when people stop praying for me. They're like, oh, mission's over. Sean's done.
Forget Sean.
Yeah, I wouldn't have believed it myself. I'm a cynical, skeptical person by nature, but I can tell when people are praying for me when they're not. And the same thing when I was in the hospital with COVID, for that matter, in late 2020. I can feel the prayers. God has a tangible presence that is associated with many righteous people praying all for the same mission. So that's what I'm looking for. Yes, the funding, you've got to have money or I can't do it. I can't go. But I'm also looking for people that want to invest their time, their prayers in this vision. to go and take the gospel to all nations, to disciple the nations, just like Jesus said in Matthew 28, the Great Commission, to go and see that done so that we can see the fullness of the Gentiles come in.
It takes somebody to have a vision to come up with a plan, but it takes action for a vision to come to pass. It's one thing to have a thought, but it's another thing to do it. So, once you get in the position that you're actually doing it, it's a little different than the thought. The thought's one thing. The action is a complete other thing. And speaking of thought, I pray to God that Penny never sees this video, because you forgot to mention Penny. Because anytime Sean's recording, his dog is sitting right there at his feet next to his legs. She follows him around everywhere. It's the cutest little dog, and
Penny would want to be included. She would definitely want to say hello.
She would, and give her her boops.
Yes,
cute dog,
sure.
man. Cute dog. But
I wish I could take her with me. She's my emotional support animal, unofficially, but I wish I could take her with me to some of those places I go.
Yeah, she's a cutie. But so you're shooting for 2024, and what's so crazy? That sounds a long way away, but it's 2 months away.
Right around the corner.
It's 2 months away.
Yes.
That's insane. Mm-hmm. When is their winter time? It's not the same as ours,
Put me
is
on
it?
the spot. I believe because it's in the southern hemisphere. Or which country are you talking about? Nepal. is the same as us.
Same as us. Okay.
So when we go in January, Kathmandu is, I think, if I'm getting this right, I think Kathmandu, which we fly into, that's the capital city. I think that's on the same parallel as Dallas. So
Okay.
It's roughly the same weather that we would experience in Dallas, but it's a very mountainous. I mean, it's the Himalaya Mountains. 2 of the world's 3 tallest mountains are in Nepal. I can't remember what the other one is. Obviously, Mount Everest is the most well known. And so the higher up you go is the point. The higher up you go, it gets very, very cold. But yeah, January is a cold time of year. April is probably when I'll be going for that very reason. It's easier to travel to the various parts. But then anything much past that, and not only does it get too hot, but it gets too wet. And the roads get muddy, and a lot of those places that we go, you can't really get there. Like, it's very dangerous. Just look up some of the world's most dangerous airports, and Nepal is going to show up on like 2 or 3 of the top 10.
Well, that's real reassuring.
Exactly. So the
Sign
only
me
way
up.
to do it is by like bike, and if you can get a good Jeep or something, and some roads don't even let you get there by Jeep. You have to go by bike. And so once it starts raining, you're dealing with mud, and you're dealing with up on the mountain. So the time of year, the window that you go, there's like 3 times throughout the year that you can go: January, April, and like late October, early November.
So there is a question that I think hits everybody's minds when it comes to missions, when it comes to going out and delivering the gospel. And this is the question I think everybody has. Have you seen conversions, and have you seen lives miraculously changed?
Oh, bro. The short answer is yes. And I don't know where to start and answer that in a short amount of time. I've seen God do such incredible things, and it's part of the reason why I crave going back there, because the faith is so high in those scenarios. I often say that in America, we don't really need God. And obviously you understand what I'm saying. Everybody needs God, of course, but we don't think we do.
No, absolutely.
Because we have all the food in the world. We have all the medicine if we get a headache. Anything that happens, we have everything we need, and we don't have to depend or rely on God for anything. We have safety. We talk about the persecution that we experience, and sure, it's coming to America. But like somebody making fun of you on social media, that's not persecution compared to people being dragged out of churches, beaten, the church building itself being burned. It's a different level. And so God is required. Faith is more active. And because of the faith, there are miracles that I can attest to. Skeptics don't want to believe. That's fine. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen people healed of deafness, of blindness, delivered from demonic possession. I've seen these things with my own eyes. And lives have been changed, and conversions over there, it's not just saying a prayer, signing a card, going down to the altar when we've got the music cranked up and we got people in an emotional state and we have them at emotional high, so we want to make a decision for Christ.
Yeah.
Over there, it's not like that. I'll never forget this one episode. There was a young woman, I think early 20s, 22, something like that, and she had a decision to make. She was convicted by the preaching of the word. She wanted to give her life to this Jesus that we were talking about, but she had a very real dilemma. If she did, her husband would kick her out of the house. Her and her, I don't know the exact age. It was an infant, 6 months, a year. I don't know exactly the age. I don't want to lie. But she had a very real decision to make. And I don't know what ever became of her. It didn't resolve that day, but I'll never forget it. That's a different experience than what we face over here. She had no education, no home, no possessions. It's a third world country. She has nothing to do if her husband puts her out. If he kicks her out and tells her goodbye, she has nowhere to go. And that's the decision. That's the life that they face in the Hindu culture if they leave to convert to Christianity. They have skin in the game. I've seen them walk for miles just to get to a church meeting where, again, I contrast it with what I'm a product of, which is the American church. And I'm guilty of everything. If I'm coming across condemning, I don't mean to. I'm just saying I understand the American mindset because I am an American. But if we just have a slightly upset tummy on a Sunday morning, or if we have a headache, or God forbid we stayed out a little bit too late on a Saturday night doing something we may not have should have, that's enough. Or if the AC is broken at the church, it's I'm not going to go there until they get that. Whatever, we have all these things that keep us from it. Yet that's their only outlet. That's their only hope. They'll walk for miles. They'll do whatever is required. Walk for hours just to get to the church because they have skin in the game. God actually means something. It's more than just an intellectual assent to a set of ideas that modern Christianity has become. Here in America, it's just do you believe this? Do you believe this? They actually have seen the power of God heal people from deathbed sicknesses, to deliver them from demonic So I told you it was a long answer.
It was a great answer.
I've seen many things.
Answer.
God's been great.
Well, as we wrap this up, this is the one thing that, if anybody's listening, known Sean for many years. Sean's very talented, very gifted, very anointed in what he does. That this isn't just a pipe dream. This isn't a teenager who just said, "I feel like going on a missions trip." This is, and the second thing is not teaming up with a huge organization. This isn't a picturesque type of trip where we just get the camera and take certain pictures to make it look like everything's grandiose and all that's going on. You're not there for photo ops. You're really there to help people. You're really there to see people's lives change, converted, healed, filled, have faith, give people hope. So this isn't just something for the gram, so to say, or, something to put on Facebook like, hey, look what I did. Even if none of that stuff ever made it on Facebook, which the majority of it doesn't, because, you're real good at keeping things that I'm here for a purpose, not just to, put a billboard of my accomplishments.
Well, even more practical than that is we do it to protect the identity and the safety of the people we work with. If we go blasting the internet has shrunk the world.
Yeah.
So if we post something, it doesn't matter if we're halfway around the world, they get it just as quick as you and I would,
Yeah.
So we don't post a fraction of the pictures that we take in order to save the identity and protect their safety once we're gone.
What is it, Nepal? The area of Nepal you live, this has been years ago, but they live on less than $1 a day?
Yeah, I think I don't know the current statistics, adjusted for all the modern.
This has been a while back, yeah.
But yes, 80 to 90% of the entire world, really. But yeah, the vast majority of Nepal is less than $1 a day. It's poverty for sure.
Yeah,
Not just relative poverty like we have here, but like actual legit
actual poverty. Yeah, that is you can't even wrap your head around that.
The only time a lot of the people that we work with, the only time they ever like eat protein, animal protein, like even in the form of cheap chicken, they only get it once or twice a year, and it's usually when we go there and pay for a feeding program. Otherwise, it's rice and vegetables year round.
Wow. Yeah. So when they say y'all come in, not only are you bringing the gospel, but like, hey man, I may get some good food. I mean, that doesn't seem like a big deal to somebody until you haven't had it.
Right.
Then that's a huge deal.
Yes.
I mean, just take your kid and don't give them any candy for 6 weeks and see how they act.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody at lunch today, and they work at a fast food spot, and he was telling me about daily all the food that's thrown away that they don't sell, but they can't keep it to the next day because it's not fresh enough. And I'm like, I get it. I'm part of the American system as well, but we are going to have to be accountable to God for the amount of wealth that we have been given, and that I don't think we've always used quite as responsibly as we could have. We throw away more food than so many people actually have to live on.
Absolutely. Just think we grow enough potatoes in Idaho to feed the whole world, but we don't feed the whole world because they don't have the money.
Right.
We can go down a different.
Right. That's a whole different. Yeah. That's a whole different thing.
Well, in closing, you need me to play?
Yeah. Can you play us out?
Can you play us out? Well, man, thank you for being here.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me, bro.
Looking forward to see what you have coming and hearing about everything that y'all are able to get done. Pray all the doors get open. But not only that, I'm looking forward to being able to sow into what y'all are doing. May not be much, but many hands make light work, and hopefully a lot of people catch the vision and